That's right. That was burp number 36. We're still keeping the camera going into this new episode this week, man. Week 17. Josh, what happened, dude? That was wild. Weird days, weird games, and now we got, a meaningless game right now, really. But what you got, bud? How you been? Did you get ejected from your football game in life?
No, I didn't. One has to play with pads and shoulder pads and not just flag football intramural stuff. Oh. But I didn't get ejected out of that either. But this is a bittersweet episode for 85% of fantasy football players out there. I'm going to just throw that number out there. I do not have the statistics. That just sounds right to me.
Stat that.
The days we look forward to the draft, to that August when the clock strikes August 1st and your head starts to focus in. Well, I used to say in a magazine. That's how old we are. But in that fantasy football index, okay, right. Just to look at those, just to buy that magazine and the smell of it, open it up, to studying, to figure out your draft strategy, to do the drafts. And just like that, in a blink of an eye, we're in the championships. We're wrapping up fantasy football for 2024, getting ready to be 2025. For those who are playing in Week 18 of 2025 or playing throughout the Super Bowl, there are some leagues that do that. Congratulations. You still have more fantasy football and thoughts. But for most of us, we've come to an end. Hopefully, you all have won championships. I know some of you right now are sweating out said championships, including this guy in front of you. And we'll get into that. I know my boy Kiff. I knew he was going to be in the chat. Yeah, he's sweating it out. I even found the Key and Peele GIF of him wearing a Dolphins hat, just to be more specific to him when I said this is GIF right now going into Monday night, and the fact that I don't think Gibbs is playing for the rest of the game. He hasn't been in for like the whole third quarter, so he's sweating that out. And the other guy's got Laporta, so we'll see if it works out. But yeah, I'm glad you appreciated it. But yes, for everyone, we've made it to the end. Hopefully, you've had a good week. But you know what? We're going to keep continuing for us to go over these players, go over some ones that are like, where'd that come from, and they've always been there and how great they are. And we'll tease what we'll do for year-end awards. But Giff, good luck for the rest of the night. And Tvshka, let's talk about some peoples.
Yeah, man. I like how you waxed poetically there. I also thought you were going to say Hakuna Matata to Giff.
Puka Matata. Look, I can't do it. Puka Matata. What a wonderful first receiver.
Yeah. But yeah, and he is. And there are plenty that were. We're talking about the top 10 on the week. Overall, we're going to run through these real quick because we're probably going to be hitting individual position groups tonight. Anyways, yeah, fucking T. Higgins and Joe Burrow. Absolutely insane game. I was texting Josh during the game. I was like, you have got to watch this. He's like, I'm with family. I was like, fuck your family. Because that was an incredible match.
It was.
I would put that as like top 5 of the year. It was such a good bout, highly contested. You had, 14 points scored within the final minute and a half of regulation. Then it goes into overtime. You had missed field goals. You had doinks, dude. You got to love a good doink game. As a Chiefs fan, it just happens our doinks go in. But for the top 10, though, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, absolutely cream of the crop, and kind of hoping for everybody in the AFC's sake that the Chiefs actually forfeit the game next week to the Broncos to get them in instead of Burrow, because he is on a tear. T. Higgins, 40 points, 11 receptions off of 12 targets, 131 yards, and 3 tutties. Joe Burrow on the other end, of course, he throws in 3 touchdowns, but he also ran a little bit too. He gets 37 points, had 4 rushes for 25 yards, and a touchdown himself.
He gritty. That's he burying the lead here. Joe Burrow gritty, and he actually did it. Really, of course, he did it well too. He wasn't like Gesicki, like, oh God, what the hell was that? No, he did.
Yeah,
that was a legit.
He did it well enough and short enough that it worked.
Yes.
Like if he would have kept going, then I think his like whiteness would have like slowly crept in. Like, oh, how long do I go? And then he probably would have started doing the hokey pokey and turned himself around.
He's so cool. But, of course, he's going to make the gritty look good.
Yeah, but he definitely hokey pokey and turned the defense around. 39 completions off of 49 attempts. That's insane. For 412 yards and 3 touchdowns. They did an incredible job, as well as other quarterbacks and wide receivers. No running backs in the top 10 as far as the overall. Malik Neighbors, that's your boy, getting 36 points, 7 receptions off of 8 targets for 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then you got Baker Mayfield, my guy on the year, coming in with just 1 rush for 2 yards, but really 27 completions off 32 attempts for 359 yards and 5 touchdowns. Had an electric game. This guy, D-Lock, I don't know, I had to Google him. Because he's been a nobody for a while. All of a sudden, he's a somebody tonight. 34 points. He had 5 rush attempts and 1 rushing touchdown for no yards. I don't know how that works. Probably just because it was in an inch.
He got sacked enough, so by the time he ran that in, it
evened out. It's hilarious. I love seeing statistical anomalies. But was an anomaly is getting 17 completions for 23 yards, 309 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Of course, 2 of those being to Neighbors. Then we got Jaden Daniels coming in. They're still on a winning streak right now. He's getting 33 points, 16 rushes for, and I had to check if this was a typo, 127 yards. The guy ran for 127 freaking yards.
He's the third quarterback to do that, to have those statistics.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely incredible. And then on passing end, still was no slouch. 24 pass completions off of 36 attempts for 227 yards and 3 touchdowns. And then we got our guy, Trey McBride, baby. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, finally.
Murray for his man. And the long national nightmare is over for Trey McBride. Touchdown.
Let's go, you beautiful bitch.
Motion.
You beautiful son of a bitch. You did it. You did it. You did it, my guy. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Everybody just slow clap for him in your
Trey
hearts.
McBoo-Boo. And he would have had 2, except he couldn't think.
Yeah. Well, and it was funny because we'll talk about it a little bit more, but they were forcing it to.
I was loving every minute of it because we'll get to that.
3 out of the last 5 plays that he was targeted for just on that drive. But yeah, no, he did an incredible job getting 30 points, 12 completions off 16 targets, 123 yards and 1 touchdown, breaking the 1,000-yard on the season, as well as 100 completions in the same game. He gets his first receiving touchdown. And this guy, he didn't get his first receiving touchdown, but it definitely was a coming out game, I think, for Marvin Mims. Getting 30 points as well. 1 rush for a negative 1 yard, but that's really not the thing. 8 of 8 for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns. And basically the 2 touchdown completions were like 50 yards each, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, it was insane. He is definitely taking the top off for Bo Nix. Be looking for him next year because I think this is a relationship that's just only going to grow. Then we go over to Philadelphia for Devontae Smith getting 30 points. Even in the absence of Jalen Hurts, still on concussion protocol, and they may send him out a little bit longer just to get him some rest for the playoff run. But he gets 30 points, 6 receptions off 7 targets for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. And we cannot even get out of the 30s. Everybody in the top 10, 30 plus. It was an incredible scoring week, really. Mm-hmm. But for my guy, my stack, Mike Evans, 30 points, eight receptions off of 9 targets for 97 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Sorry, and for everybody at home, this is a full PPR statistics. But Josh, I mean, the top 10, man. I mean, what you got for those guys?
Well, it's surprising. I mean, this is what the Cincinnati Bengals and why it's so aggravating. As if you're a Bengals fan out there, shout out to Darren. Of why it's so aggravating being a Bengals fan this year is you're probably not going to make the playoffs. There is a shot that you could make it, but probably not. You're in the one that's in the hunt. You need a lot of chips to fall your way instead of you controlling your own destiny. And the fact that T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are on that team with Joe Burrow. And the fact that they can't stop, I don't know, a small gust of wind is just a travesty because of how good offensively they are. And they're doing this. So as far as fantasy-wise, they're a godsend because they have to keep scoring. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's perfect as far as the Joe Burrows, the T. Higgins, and the Jamar Chase owners of the world. Because Jamar Chase isn't in this top 10, but he still had a solid-ass game. On that, Malik Neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, boy, man.
Yeah, he is him. It's so crazy of like the two. Just go with my thought here. I'm trying to talk about Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors at the same time because they were on LSU's team and their quarterback was Jaden Daniels. Okay. And now they're getting the league, and they are all three living up to the billing. 2 were on terrible teams, but they're still doing well. And I was, and plus you don't really watch the Jaguars a whole lot, so you're just sitting there looking at what Brian Thomas is doing. And I know we're talking about the top 10; he's not on it. But Malik Neighbors, unfortunately, he was going nuts early in the season, got concussed, and he's finally, I think, gotten back to. And plus Drew Lock going in, so it was a lot of turmoil in the locker room and all that stuff with the Daniel Jones stuff. So Neighbors being a top 10 pick, we will see how the offseason goes, GIF on that, because I can possibly keep Neighbors in the first round, and depending on how it's all structured and how the offseason goes for the Giants, I could potentially think about taking him in the last round. It's just scary because we all saw live on television that aired of them going, well, I don't want Saquon Barkley. I want to keep Daniel Jones. So I just have a hard time trusting an organization on a first-round overall draft pick who are that inept.
Yeah. Well, they don't have it anymore. Patriots have it now, supposedly.
They're that incompetent that they're going to be the nightmare to the Colts, and the Colts are going to let them do that just to screw them out of, okay, you get Cam Ward. Like, it's Cam Ward and Shadur Sanders. To me, they're fine quarterbacks. We'll see how they do. But Cam can come in and light it up, but he's kind of like a CJ Stroud, and we'll get to CJ Stroud in next week's episode as far as awards, and it's not going to be a good one for him. But he can come in and light it up. And then he could also just be okay. I don't know. I don't know what to make with Shadur and Cam because neither one of them are like, yep, definitely write it down. They're great. And as we have seen, especially this year with the emergence of Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. Well, I know Baker was showing it last year, but he's really come into his own this year.
Oh, yeah.
And what Sam Darnold is doing, Geno for a little bit, but you're seeing maybe it's the organization more than it is the coaches around them than it is the quarterbacks themselves. Because Sam Darnold was balling this year. And they're going to pay him now. Mm-hmm. Mayfield, pay that man. I don't know what else you want from these two other than them leading you to the play. Baker leading to the playoffs 2 years in a row, and Sam Darnold doing what he's doing right now with the Minnesota Vikings. And I said that at the beginning of the season. If there's any chance Sam Darnold could be a good quarterback, it's with this system. And Justin Jefferson, it helps. And having Aaron Jones. Again, good organizations, put solid teams, put solid coaching and players around them. Them acquiring Aaron Jones, that worked out. The Eagles being dumb that when they drafted the guy that's not even in the league anymore out of Kansas State. I can't remember his name. And then they let Javon, and literally they were like, all right, what receiver do we want?
Running back or quarterback?
It was receiver. It was literally the
Okay.
Eagles, and I forget his name. He ended up going back to the Eagles, and I forget his name. He was out of Kansas State. If anybody in the chat can help me out. But he wasn't very good. And they took him, and like literally there's during draft night, they were on the, I think McConnell and the GM were like
Jaron Brandley or Bradley?
No. As soon as you say it, I would know it. But he was just not very good, and Justin Jefferson went right next, and the Vikings were like, oh, I guess we'll just take Jefferson then. Like literally, like they were both befuddled because they figured the Eagles would take Jefferson there. The Eagles ended up getting Devontae Smith, and then they traded for AJ Brown, and now the Eagles are fine. But as good as the Eagles have that GM has been, they still miss. But I know it's long-winded.
They're talking about Sproles because he's running back.
No, I don't even think he's in the league anymore. He's out of Kansas State. He was a first-round draft pick.
What year was he drafted?
Well, Justin Jefferson's been the third or fourth year in the league. It's the fourth year in the league, so it's 4 years ago? Because they're on contract years. At least Jamar Chase is, so it's like 3 or 4 years ago. And I forget his name. He was
Randall Evans?
No.
No, that's defensive back.
But I mean, Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Like his only highlight was rapping on the sidelines, and they're like, "Oh man, the dude's got flow." Like that was his only highlight, and he destroyed the Colts' hopes and dreams over the weekend. So,
yeah, the Eagles haven't drafted a Kansas State wide receiver, so not sure who you're talking about.
Well, anyway, what do you think about the top 10 as I look this up? Now it's going to plug.
Yeah, as you search Google for your own head, dude. I mean, it's crazy not to see a running back out here. But I mean, really, the big reason why is just because there was so much effing scoring. Because even when you look at the running backs themselves,
Jalen Reagor. Jalen Reagor is at TCU, not Kansas State. Sorry,
TCU,
purple team out of Big 12.
Yeah, wrong. Purple Big 12.
Yeah, Jalen Reagor.
But no. So with the running backs though, we're skipping over the quarterbacks, going to running backs. I mean, you had Taylor coming in with 28 points, Bijan Robinson 25, Derrick Henry 25, Bucky Irving 23, Saquon Barkley, kind of a low spot for him really with 19. Still got 31 carries for 167 yards, and got just receptions. But yeah, no touchdowns for him, but still a good showing. Then you had Abdullah out of Las Vegas getting 18. Kyron Williams
he got hurt too. He was on his way to be in the top 10. He got hurt.
Right, yeah. Warren getting 16, Dobbins getting 15, getting back in the fold, and Spears getting 13. So, I mean, for running backs, the ones that are there, I mean, they still did well, but it just wasn't top 10 overall. But yeah, so you're talking about Kyron Williams or Abdullah?
Yeah, Abdullah.
Yeah.
Sure. Hey, man, sometimes it's just a good situation because he's been in the league for a hot minute. Had fumbling issues out of Nebraska, and it's like, wow, he still exists type of thing. Because I remember him years ago. I mean, this has got to be his like 7th year in the league. I mean, he's been in the league for a while. So shout out to him. Obviously, he got hurt, banged up there at the end. But J.K. Dobbins, comeback player of the year, at least as far as fantasy wise.
Yeah.
Tajay Spears, I was between him and James Conner, and effing James Conner.
Dude.
You Keenan Allen to me.
Yeah.
He rushed 4 times for 4 yards, and he kept his helmet on the whole time. Every time they show him on the sideline,
I know.
Like, is he going back in again? Is he going in?
He's going back in, right? He's got his helmet.
He's going in?
No, he's not. Okay. It's like, dude, just take the pads off. Take the helmet off.
And James Conner has been the silent assassin this year as far as running backs because no one ever talks about him. But if you have him on your team, you are ecstatic.
Yep. No, he's solid and he provides, but he's just not, necessarily going to be, living in the top 10. Just because, I mean, everybody else is a little bit flashier as far as, looking at Saquon Barkley, Henry, some of the others. But yeah, no, I mean, he still has been very steady on the year. And while we're talking about running backs, let's look at, on the year, the top 10. Of course, you got Barkley. You got Bijan Robinson moving ahead of Derrick Henry. 310 versus Henry's 36. Or 306, sorry. And that's just because of the last few games. It's kind of been, a little bit of a slouch for him. Really 20 points the last couple, but he had a 6-point game. He's in 14, 14, 10, 14. I mean, it wasn't like the 20s and 30s like he started off with, but
No.
still very admirable. Then you got Gibbs coming in at 291. You have Achane, 282. Josh Jacobs, 282. Kyron Williams, 272. Kamara, before getting injured, 265. But Connor's sitting right outside, looking at like the quarterback number 12, I believe. 11 actually. And it's just the last 3 games before this one: 22.2, 30.8, 26.6. He's helped a lot of people in the playoffs to only fail them in the championship, which is very rough, because he probably got a lot of people there. Just couldn't bring that trophy back home for some. But,
and typically, if you did have Connor, you probably had another solid back. But Najee Harris, I wasn't going to play him, and I was thinking of Tajay. I was thinking of Spears just because Pollard probably wasn't going to play, and he ended up getting the flu. And I am literally saying, I'm like, if Connor's playing, I am playing him, because who got you there. You're just going to live and die by that. And if everyone else did, that's what you're supposed to do, because if you overthink your championship game, you will lose a lot of sleep until the next year, and people will never let you forget it either.
Yep.
Okay. So I would live and die on that 4 yards, 4 carries, than sitting him for Tajay Spears, who has never been the starter for a terrible Titans team. And actually, Tajay was taken out early. They just went ahead and just benched him. But he did pretty well before that. He was on his way to have a really good game. But I could sleep better at night knowing that I at least started the guy who got me there and curse him out than not start him. And then he does play, and they take Tajay out, and then Connor goes for 275 and is a lot better scorer. Now, knock on wood, everything's going well so far, but that is the thing, is you will sleep better at night even though you hate the man for 2 seconds right now. And I hope he doesn't cost you a championship. But the thing is, I would rather him cost me a championship than you overthinking it and you cost yourself a championship.
Yeah. Now put some respect on Tajay's name, though. Last 3 weeks, 27.2, 21.6, and then 13.3. He may not have won anybody's championship round, but he definitely could have been the X factor to get people into that. He's definitely been a great asset and really a late pickup off the waiver wire for a lot of people. I think that's what you got to love even more is, because you have your draft picks that you kind of ride through the ups and the downs through the years, and you keep them in. But man, you got to love a sweet waiver pickup where didn't really produce. Nobody's looking at them, and all of a sudden you grab them, and hey, looks like it looked out. So if you did that, awesome. But jumping back to quarterbacks, though, right? With the people that actually are handling the ball and really getting a good bulk of your fantasy production just because they touch the ball every play. Of course, we talked about Burrow, Mayfield, Locke, and Daniels. But then Lamar Jackson, 29 points, just outside the top 10 overall, getting 4 rushes for 87 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. And then also 10 passing.
He was jogging, by the way. He was jogging.
Oh, yeah, he was jogging.
At 21 miles an hour, he was jogging.
Tell about it, man. And then getting 10 pass completions on 15 attempts for 168 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then Patrick Mahomes had himself a good game.
Hey, it is.
Look at that guy. Look at that, buddy. Merry Christmas. Man, because they put the pedal to Pittsburgh. They still didn't score 30 points, which cracked me up because they were literally like at the 2 or 3 yard line. and with 2 minutes or minute and a half or something like that, and they just kept taking knees. So like everybody was kind of hoping that they would have got in because they have not scored over 30 points this entire season. It's been 30, 30, 29, high 20s. So for that being a 15-1 team, that's ridiculous that they've been able to.
As your I don't know if it's your boy, but your fellow Kansas City Chiefs fan Nick Wright says, "All right, we're done with practicing."
Yeah. I mean, if you're kind of thinking that you're going to be in the Super Bowl, I mean, not like, being cocky in that regard, but just like, hey, that's the goal. All right, let's, not show the whole playbook. Let's, kind of get a feel for everything, and let's do enough to win. So we'll see. But Mahomes getting 26, one rush for 12 yards. So he's still actually getting some production, really when it just matters. Usually it's on third down. But passing, 29 pass completions for 38 attempts, 320 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's the old Patrick we like to see.
That's the Patrick Mahomes we've been expecting all season. This is the Patrick Mahomes we've always wanted. We know it's there. Yep. It just, Rashid Rice goes down, and you get Juju Smith-Schuster back, and then he goes down, and then Xavier Worthy getting used to the system, and obviously Travis Kelce is 35 years old. So it's tough to, Noah's as good as he can be. He's one of the greatest tight ends of all time, not if the greatest tight end of all time. But I don't care how good, how great you are. You're not 25 anymore. He's 35. So I believe he's 35.
I mean, maybe he just needs to get like some robot arms like Gronk did.
Like that Barry Bonds sleeve.
God, dude,
at the end of this year.
Had him on his knees and elbows. I mean, he looked like Frankenstein running down the field.
Yeah.
But throwing Holly Brown in there too. Brown was really kind of the one he connected with, and then the first play of the preseason game, he's injured and out. And that game, he got Hollywood Brown back. So on the field, he's got D-Hop, Hollywood Brown, and Xavier Worthy. I mean, come on, man. I mean, Travis Kelce is the 4th receiver? Like, come on, dude. It's ridiculous. But anyways, sorry to gush on that one. Let's definitely gush over Sam Darnold because everybody in Minnesota is. Maybe everybody except J.J. McCarthy. Because is he going to play next year?
That's what the thing is JJ still has that rookie contract.
Yep.
I mean, every quarterback that gets drafted in the first round, obviously, and that has to sit behind a starter for 2 years and then finally gets the reins. That's never worked out for any team. Wait a minute. Hold on. There's this team up north that likes cheese. They've been doing it for like 25, 30 years, and they're still doing it. Let's see. Brett Favre, then Aaron Rodgers. Now Jordan Love. Now Jordan Love played like shit fantasy-wise. The team overall, and they left a couple of plays out there, but that's exactly, you can tell they're top-tier teams. But I think the Vikings are okay with JJ sitting behind Sam Darnold if you're getting that. And if that, and here's the best part about it. Because they're not going to sign Sam Darnold for like some godly contract.
No,
and Sam Darnold is going to stay there because he knows he's not. He's made a decent amount of money, but I don't think Sam Darnold's going anywhere. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Like J.J. McCarthy is the Alex Moran of the NFL at this point because he's came out as a great prospect, but he's a backup. And if Sam Darnold goes down, oh darn, you have to go to J.J. McCarthy, who's already been in the system, at least playbook wise, been in the system for a year. Obviously, the injury has kept him out of actually getting reps and stuff in, and that does take time. But at least it's not like he's brand new to the system or anything of that nature. So he's been in the playbook, he's been in the quarterback room. So I think the Minnesota Vikings struck really well with the Sam Darnold situation. Mm-hmm. And if you want to go back to my theory of, it just reminded me, if you want to go back to my whole thing about how much organizations matter when it comes to quarterbacks, Jason, earmuffs. Baker and Sam Darnold were on the same Carolina team at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. And you also look at Cleveland. You look at some of these other inept groups. I mean, for Darnold, I mean, for next year, I mean, you got to look at the Raiders, maybe. I mean, I don't want that for him, you know?
Right.
I mean, hopefully he would just sign maybe another 1 year. But, I mean, at this point, he's basically going to lose some of his value because this is probably as hot as he's ever going to be. And, you know, this is really the time to kind of strike a deal with somebody and get paid.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
It's a kind of conundrum for the Vikings, and it's a good situation for Sam.
Yeah.
And like he's the winner of it all.
Dude. Yeah.
And I think, and I just, and Sam Darnold's agent definitely is the winner in that. But Sam, I just don't know what I would do with Sam. Either way, it's going to work. Either you're going to go to a crappy team, which you were seeing ghosts. You've been in enough crappy teams. You've been in enough crappy organizations. You finally found stability, man. You are Orphan Annie of the NFL, and you finally, like you and Baker, like they're the little Orphan Annies in Oliver Twist of the world, and they finally found Daddy Warbucks. Freaking live in the mansion, bro.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, we're talking musicals on Fantasy Fuck Around.
Oh, I didn't know you were talking about musicals. I literally don't know any of those things. But no, I mean, he's 27 years old. So, I mean, really, how much longer of an NFL career do you really want to have, or are you going to have? I mean, I would just take the money, run, and then just pull a Chase Daniel and just be a glorified backup quarterback like Flacco.
The true
still
Alex
get some
Moran.
money, still be in the mix, and whenever just be ready for whenever your time comes. But just get a fat deal, guaranteed money. Even if you don't play, I don't know, maybe go to Cleveland. I feel like they're handing those out like idiots.
Don't go to
anyways,
Cleveland.
let's go ahead and we'll jump from quarterbacks. Actually, let's finish out the top 10.
One quick thing. Can you look and see? Can you list me the top 5 quarterbacks on the year from 5 to 1?
On the year?
On the year.
Dude, I feel like this is a thing you can do yourself, Google wise.
I know. But I was talking about scoring wise from 5 to 1 on Sleeper. I just want to see something real quick.
Mm-hmm. What's your theory?
I just want to know who's above who. But just give me the top 5.
Yeah. Top 5? Oh, well, your boy's not going to be in there because it's Jackson, Allen, Burrow, Daniels, and Mayfield.
So no. That's my boy is there. So who's number 1?
Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Where's Josh Allen?
Number 2.
Okay. That solves the MVP thing. Now we can move on.
Oh, because fantasy football is where it's at?
He's winning everything else.
That's what the deciding factor is.
Statistically, he's better than everything else. We'll dive deeper, Dan Orlovsky. I called it over 4 weeks ago.
All right.
I would just give it. If Saquon breaks Eric Dickerson's rushing record and doesn't get MVP, you're just dumb. I don't know. I just give it to Saquon.
Yeah.
But at least Tony Romo said the thing out loud of we're going to give it to Josh Allen because Lamar's already won it twice and Josh Allen hasn't won it. Just say it, guys. It's okay.
Yeah. No, I thought it was because of another reason.
No, it's not that.
Yeah, let's get it. Well, no, let's what we get is actually let's get to Josh Herbert or Justin Herbert. Sorry, getting Josh on the mind. He comes in at number 8, not on the year but on the week. Going to jump back to that. 24 points, 3 rushing attempts for 12 yards, 26 pass completions for 38, or on 38 attempts for 281 yards and 3 touchdowns. I saw that too, Chris the GIF. Yep, Gibbs touchdown. He is sitting very pretty right now in his championship run.
All right, take them out, guys. They're done.
Yeah,
take them out.
Then you got Huntley down there in Miami filling in for Tua, getting 24 points. And then Josh Allen finishing out the top 10 to quarterbacks, 23 points. Still getting 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing yard. So he still doing things there. Wide receivers, tight ends. I mean, a lot of them we talked about already because they were in the overall top 10 quite a bit. And thank you, Herbert, right? For for a good week so far, showing wise. Yeah. So with that, which one do you want to go with first? Tight ends or wide receivers? I feel like you have a lot to talk about on tight ends on the year and on the week.
Yeah. I mean, it depends which one you want me to talk long-winded on or not. Because I feel like we've talked
Not
about
that long-winded. We're at 35 minutes already.
Right. Yeah. I would look at the receivers and just see of who has shown. This is always when the rookies really start showing. As far as wide receivers, to show, okay, where are you is you gonna reach too high because they just got hot at the end of the year, or is this who they are? And with that, Malik Neighbors, Ladidi McConkey, Brian Thomas Jr. But has Marvin Harrison finally gotten comfortable in that offense? That is the big question going into next year, because he was fine in this game against the Rams, fine, but he's not that. And a lot of people, not particularly us, shout out to the fantasy footballers and Jason Moore, who are big Arizona Cardinals fans. They were saying that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a bust just because of where you were drafting him. And the thing is you should have just waited to that 10th round and drafted Brian Thomas Jr. and got more value. Marvin Mims, shout out to, is he going to be like his rapper counterpart Mims, who did This Is Why I'm Hot? Is he going to be one hit wonder? Is this all we're going to get from Marvin Mims? Because we were expecting this from Marvin Mims last year, but there was turmoil and they were still trying to figure out what they were going to do. And then finally Marvin Mims kind of started to gel with Bo Nix. So we will see. And where is T. Higgins going to be next year is the thing with that. But Lad McConkey, Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brian Thomas Jr., where do you think they should go is the question. And that's the question I'll put it your way. Like, Malik Neighbors could be a top 5 pick next year. Mm-hmm. Marvin Harrison could drop, but then again, that could be good value because of how disappointing he was this year. Lad McConkey.
I'm not going to pick him number 2.
Right.
At least in the second round.
At least the second round. So like that'd be like these rookie wide receivers that have shown out this year or haven't, but were expected to. How do you view that going into next year, just given what we've seen this in 17 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it to where the officiating and the rules kind of favor quarterbacks and passing, and whatever there, if there's ulterior motives or not, offense does sell tickets because people want to see scoring. They're there for the excitement. They're there for the lights to flicker and the cannons to fire and their favorite song to be played. Mm-hmm. They want that. I mean, if you get a slugfest where it's like 3-9, is that one of the games we had this week? It was just brutal to watch. Mm-hmm. And
3-6.
36. Sorry. Oh my
3-6. Chicago and oh my God, that was so bad.
It was terrible. Like it was just like, why are we doing this? Can we just turn the game off now? So with that. And really kind of seeing, I mean, it kind of started off a little slow, production-wise, but maybe that's because they cut back on some of the, the pad or, the full hitting in practice. So people are getting used to that. Maybe some of these teams, I mean, like the Bengals, the Chiefs, and some others where they're just playing a little more reserved in that first half of the season. Trying to stay healthy, not trying to overextend themselves, maybe taking a couple of losses here or there that they know they can kind of get away with, because then when they do that big push, they're going to get into the playoffs somehow. But yeah, so kind of to your question though, receivers are up. I mean, with that, there is quite a bit of them. There in a lot of those teams, there's a tandem. I mean, you look at McClain and Thomas. McClain.
McConkey.
Washington. No, Brian Thomas Jr. Down there in the Jaguars. But top 5, I would say Thomas is going to be there. Maybe Neighbors, because you're looking at the top overall. You got Jamar Chase, Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brian Thomas Jr., CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors, JSN, McLaren, Garrett Wilson with a phenomenal catch this week. Oh my God, that was
Tyrod Taylor,
Drake London, Jerry Jeudy. That's another big question. Is that going to happen next year? Because
Deshaun Watson's their quarterback.
But he almost seemed quarterback proof though too, because because he was doing pretty decent even with Deshaun Watson. But Winston was the one that really kind of let it fly. But Winston, got benched this last week, and he still got 21.4 points. You got McConkey. If we're still talking about rookies, you got Xavier Worthy. He's kind of coming on a little bit late. Then, like you said, Marvin Harrison Jr. Would I say any of them's in the top 10? Or top 5? Is that the question?
No, I'm just saying, where would you put them as far as do you expect them to be first round picks next year? Do you expect where do you expect Marvin Harrison to be, even though he could be a steal with the value? Yeah. Do you still think people are going to reach on him? Of these, because typically this is where you
people
see.
Probably will.
This is where you the last 6 to 7 weeks, you see the rookies final, especially rookie wide receivers. Now Malik Neighbors came out of the gate hot, cooled off a little bit, but then kept going and realized he was the number one guy. But these typically it takes a while for those receivers to finally get used to the speed, the playbook, and the scheme, and gelling with the quarterback. And then once that happens, then you see those last 7 weeks to project you in what you think will going to be in the next draft. And that's why I was bringing those up. It was are these all first-round draft picks? Is Ladd McConkey still going to be that 5th round draft pick? I think Brian Thomas is a top 2.
Is not out of sight.
Brian Thomas is top 2. He's definitely going to be kept in most of the leagues.
Yeah. If you're in their keeper league, definitely. We're talking about first round draft.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have Saquon. You're gonna have. Is Derrick Henry back in the number 1?
I don't know.
Even with his age. But then you got Chase, you got Jefferson, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown,
CeeDee Lamb. Because CeeDee did that without Dak pretty much the whole season.
I feel like he's better without Dak, dude. I feel like you guys are all better without Dak.
I don't know. It's just CeeDee Lamb is that good, though. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah. No, he's definitely incredible talent and almost like quarterback proof. Just throw him off the ball. Really that's what I think a lot of these teams are missing is just trying to take the top off. Just throw the ball up. Let your best player go get the ball. Because, 7, 8, 9 times out of 10, they're going to get it. So, man, I would say Thomas and Neighbors have the best bet to be in the top 10 or in your first draft, round.
I would think Thomas is in that A.J. Brown category of he's probably going to be late first round, early second.
Yeah, that's another one. A.J. Brown slipped quite a bit.
He has Devon. He has. It's the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
With, Gibbs is definitely going to be a top 5. You're correct on that, Giff. But it's AJ has Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley. So you kind of see it with Amon-Ra still balled out this year, but it's that Jalen Hurts is not as good of a passer as Jared Goff is and how that system works. And plus, when you've got Saquon Barkley running for almost a league record, well, you don't need and then he gets. Think of how many touchdowns he would have if it wasn't for the tush push. Even Kenny Pickett got a tush push.
Yeah. Yeah. I think 2 of them, right? Pickett.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
Yeah, no, there's 2. Yes, you're right. 2 rushing touchdowns by Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. Throw Bijan Robinson in there as well.
Yeah,
he'd be first round. He was this year for a lot, quite a bit of people.
Watch out for
produce as much early on.
Watch out for Breece Hall next year. I just have a feeling he's going to come back with a vengeance.
I mean, but where do you think he's going to go? Third round?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Fourth?
Like, don't in that second to third round, you get a Breece Hall there. Depending on how it works out and who the coaching staff is, and is the Jets going to move on from Breece Hall and then he goes to a really good team?
Yeah.
That's too good of a running back to be as bad as he has been this year. I am not going to quit on that dude.
Here's one anomaly. Joe Mixon was on fire for the first 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Actually, 13 weeks. And then on bye week on the 14th, then 10.6, 8.1, 5.9. I mean, I don't really put that on him. I mean, just more the organization. The Texans haven't really been as efficient. They've been dealing with injuries, but what team is not?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at every NFL team. I mean, the Lions, the Chiefs, that's
the witch, the wardrobe.
Yeah, the line, the witch, the wardrobe. Right?
I'm sorry, that just popped in my head. I had to get that
love
dumbass
it,
joke out.
Fucking love it. But yeah, I mean, I think he could be a really good second, third round pickup right there. But yeah, I mean, kind of jumping back up a little bit. You got Josh Jacobs having a resurgence that's going to muck up some things. Kyron Williams still staying strong. Kamara. I mean, even though he's aging and he's on IR and out right now. Still gonna be a 30-year. Chase Brown. I mean, not a rookie, but a young talent. Definitely getting that spot there.
If T. Higgins goes away, that could either be great or bad. I don't know for Chase Brown. I do not know.
Yeah. It's hard to really figure out what that balance is. I mean, of course, it's Burrow and Chase, but I mean Higgins. I mean, it was just with his explosion those last few weeks, especially that Broncos game. I mean, Surtain was on Chase quite a bit, but he was also on Higgins, and and Higgins was winning. It's gonna be an interesting mix. Bucky Irving is another one. Is he,
dude? Bucky Irving.
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Damn, I forgot.
The second round.
I thank you for bringing. I don't. Bucky Irving. Oh my god. I don't.
And then even though it's inept, you talked about with them as the Giants, Tracy.
I know.
I mean, he's been solid. I mean, I don't think
not
been
not bad for the fourth round running backs with Tracy and Bucky Irving.
Right.
Well, I think Bucky was a third. No, they're both fourth. I thought they were both fourth.
Round. I don't know. I'm not seeing their draft stats as far as on a sleeper, but yeah, let's jump to the chat real quick because I know Gift's been amazing in blowing us up because we did. I say, yeah, you better be there. He does say, as a Dolphins fan, I would love to see KC win, right? Because you need KC to win, but more importantly, we need the Bengals to lose to the Steelers. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, the Steelers look good, but they have not looked great lately.
But the Bengals defense is.
Oh, dude, yeah, they're terrible. I mean, but yeah, I mean, and the Steelers, got Pickens back. Trust me, I want them to win. I would rather not see the Bengals in the playoff picture. Rich Eisen should be in the booth more, right? Yeah, coming off of that call that he did for McBride's touchdown, man, which we got to get to here in a second. Talk about McBride a little bit more. Neighbors top 5. Dude, you have been splitting out your lineup? Yeah, man. But just right after you said that, though, Gibbs got you a touchdown, baby. So you're looking pretty good.
Well, he wasn't sweating out starting Gibbs, but I get what he's saying.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, no, just his whole lineup period.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Gibbs got him touchdowns, so he needs to not be sweating. Right now, he is looking at 122.44 to 104.08. I think you got it in hand, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to say it too soon.
No, you can't celebrate a victory too early on this channel. You know what happens when you do that.
I don't think Laporta's going to get 20 poets in 43 seconds.
You never know, man. You celebrated it, and it made one of the best contests you ever made.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see Laporta do that in a 40 to 31 route or 28 because they didn't make that.
No,
field goal?
the San Francisco just scored.
Did they? Because it looks like they just missed a field goal.
Well, they missed an extra point.
Was it the extra point? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 40 to 34. Okay.
So
Still, I don't think Laporta's going to get 22 points in that amount of time.
never know.
But hey, let's if that comes to bite gift back, then it's gonna be even more interesting. Yeah. So that looks like most of it for the chat there. Let's go ahead and let's talk about it, man. Let's watch this amazing, possibly the only touchdown of his season.
Murray for his man. And the long national nightmare is over for Trey McBride. Touchdown.
Yeah. No, you gotta love it. You gotta love it for the guy.
Yeah. Now it is technically his third touchdown on the season, but it's his first reception, receiving.
No,
he recovered one in the end zone. He recovered a fumble in the end zone, and I think he ran
so how
one.
do they stat that? Because that wasn't on the stats.
It still is known as a rushing touchdown, I think. But that's his first receiving touchdown on the season.
Yeah.
So it's high.
Right. Like, I mean, if you're looking at the sheet, you kind of walked on some of the info. But yeah, Trey McBride gets his first receiving touchdown on the year. Finally, he crossed the 1,000-yard mark before getting it. So that was one thing that I would have actually put money on, that he would have got 1,000 yards before he scored a touchdown. And luckily he did just before that with some of his other receptions. But he got his first touchdown on the season for his 98th reception on the year. So he almost went 100 receptions without a touchdown. So he had actually broken the record previously, so that bumps that NFL record up. So 97 receptions without a touchdown is currently the NFL record, and this is not his first touchdown overall, because his only rush this season was in Week 9 for 1 yard, and that was a touchdown.
Yep.
But yeah, I didn't see anything on the recovery.
Yeah,
so
I remember it early in the season. Maybe it might have been last year. I don't know. I thought he had, but I just know this was his first receiving touchdown because we were joking about how he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver without a touchdown, or tight end at least. But no, Trey. If anyone watched our pre-show and what I talked about Trey McBride and why I like Trey McBride when in the swimming of the aisle of irrelevancy that is the tight end position. Is because Trey gets targets. And so when you get that many targets, you're going to score points. How many targets did he have this week? 16. Now, granted, they were like, yeah, it is official.
It's official, baby.
Congratulations.
Right, so, make sure you have paid your dues.
Yeah.
For the season. So it is $10. Definitely follow the PayPal link that is in the Sleeper app. And then also let us know your address, and also if you would want to get a belt, a ring, or a trophy. So I'll communicate with you. I'll send you some of the pictures as far as the options of what to get. But yeah, let us know what you would like in that, and we'll get it ordered and shipped to you, man. Congratulations, man. Yeah, definitely well earned.
Way to join the club of the winners of this fantasy football league. A long list of great.
You get to join Haygood because he's the only one that has a trophy.
No,
there we go. Yeah,
because he's the only one that has it.
That's what you're meaning, right, Josh? That's what you're talking about.
No. I'm sorry. I will always let everyone know that Jason won it. Me and Sol won it. Daniel Haygood won it last year, and Giff won it. Oh,
was it a Ruckus League? It was. I didn't know we had the Ruckus League for 4 years.
There's enough people. We had enough quorum. If we voted, they would give us those championships too.
Okay. Well, it was in.
I will go to our lawyer Daniel Haygood, who was the commissioner of that league at the time, to see if this carries over. We merged.
That's weird. So I feel like if we changed commissioners and we started a show on it, I mean, I feel like that's a whole new thing. That's weird. That's crazy.
when you take a team from one city to another, you still take the championships with you.
Do you do that with league mergers? Because I'm pretty sure they say post Super Bowl era kind of thing, right?
Gotcha. Something like
we're just
that.
in the
I don't
60s
know.
right now.
I don't know. Just have you won this yet? Just want to make sure.
Huh? No, but neither have you.
Yes, I have.
Not the Ruckus League. And if you guys want to join the Ruckus League, definitely follow the link below. Join us in the Discord. Get ready for next year because we are definitely going to be dropping at least one player. And anybody who doesn't pay their league fees, we will drop you too. So definitely get those in because all those proceeds do go to the trophy that Giff will be receiving because he won. So congratulations, Giff, again. And let's jump back to McBride, man.
Oh, dude.
Because I want to give this dude his flowers. I'm sure he got sick and tired of like hearing the noise. Reports said that Kyler Murray's, had even, on record said that he wants McBride to get the touchdown more than McBride does. So you could definitely tell, like in the game, they were just forcing it to him in some situations, and to where it was almost detrimental. But then, they did that incredible trips left, just kind of quick wraparound. I mean, almost like a little bubble screen essentially, and got him in. And really, really great effort by him because he got stood up right there at the one.
Yeah.
But he's a big ass bruiser and really just kind of showed his mettle and fortitude and got in for himself. But
but no. Trey he was the tight end that I was targeting, just because you got where he was going. I was like, all right, that's because I'm not going to take a risk on Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, like those, George Kittle. I was like, Trey McBride though goes at great value at a great ground, so that's who I'm targeting every single time. I didn't get him in all leagues, but the ones I did, I won. And I would, if I didn't get him, I would want Brock Bowers. Or, unfortunately, I was wrong. I swung and a miss, hand up. I was wrong. Dalton Kincaid sucked.
trash.
So it was literally like trade McBride, then Dalton, then Brock. A lot of times I end up getting Kincaid if I didn't get Trey, and I didn't get Brock because I got Kincaid. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. No, not at all. So I should have just went Trey Brock, like I was saying in my mind the whole time, just because Trey gets targets and Brock is a beast. And guess who ended up 1-2 on the year? So
there we go. I guess who also only ended up with 3 10-plus point games on the season.
Was it
Dalton Kincaid?
Yeah, Dalton Kincaid. He was
Kincaid.
terrible. He was so terrible. He was so terrible. I think
Yeah.
Brock Bowers.
McBride. I mean, a lot of people were high on McBride.
Yeah,
In the beginning of the season. I mean, we knew Bowers was going to be a talent.
Right.
Didn't know how
Just
much
the
of a
wrong
phenom
team.
he was going to be, especially with the Raiders.
right.
I mean, again, we're talking about organizations. I think that's probably just a continuing conversation we're going to have, because, I mean, there's just some owners can't get out of their own way, right? And then,
I know.
Also, for some reason, like, just some coaches still have jobs, and GMs as well. I mean, it's absolutely hilarious, the clip with the New York Giants where he's like, I'm going to be sick if he goes to Philadelphia. And Saquon Barkley goes to Philadelphia. And do you know who they play? The Eagles? Do you know who the Eagles play next week?
The Giants. And
play
with
the Giants.
Saquon being able to break Eric Dickinson's record against the Giants.
Yes. Like that game, and then the Lions and Vikings for battle for the number 1 seed. Like those are going to be 2 must-watch TV games. I'm excited for. So, but yeah, no. For Trey McBride, he does end up number 2 on the year. He is 25 years old, so still a young buck. And oddly enough, he is the only NFL player with same-sex parents. So found that out while doing some research on him.
All right.
I was like, oh, all right, there we go.
Cool.
So he has 2 moms.
Two moms.
And and Bowers, being 22, just 3 years younger, number 1, and then you have Kittle number 3.
Yeah, no,
Kittle,
Kittle,
31 years old.
Kittle's been solid. It's just off and on because he's been banged up. But when he's playing, he's great.
Yeah, well, and I also think what has also helped him is the rest of the team has been banged up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's provided more opportunities for him. Whereas with Kelsey, even though he has had other people banged up, he's just not really the focal point. I mean, he may be more of the diversion than really the recipient of the pass. But Jonnu Smith, number 4. We've got to talk about Jonnu.
Yeah. Jonnu's been great everywhere he's been, and no one really talks about it. When he was with the Titans, he was great. Then he went to the Falcons and pissed everyone off that were Kyle Pitts owners and Bijan Robinson owners and anyone on that offense that you had that wasn't named Jonnu Smith or Cordell Patterson. You were pissed off. Now that being said, Desmond Ridder is not a good NFL quarterback, so it was just an uphill climb last year as it was. But Jonnu Smith should be drafted as a top 5, top 10 tight end next year. That being said, if you finish in the top 10 of tight ends, typically it's the top 5 that you really care about, if you think about it. Because it's like, I got a top 10. He finished top 10 last year. Well, we'll see what he does this year. Because he might end up being
top 5.
Right, so I'm saying, like, top 5, okay. But outside of that top 5 tight end wise, I don't know. But yeah, Bowers, McBride, because Laporta could come back Laporta could see the resurgence next year from where he was year before. So I'm not like sitting there saying Laporta's done, but I'm just saying if you're in the top 5, you're probably going to be top 10 or better in the next year as long as you're young enough and stuff. It's not like a Travis Kelce or something like that.
Yeah. Laporta last 5 games really has kind of been where he was last year. Yeah, 50.6, 10.4, 18.10, 14.3, 18.4. But it was just that start, of the first 6 games, 6 weeks. They had a bye week in week 5, which is weird. I really don't like that early buys, but 8.5, 3.3, 5.6, 9.3. Then he had a spike of 12 points, went back down to 3. 16 points, back down to 4. 15 points, then he was, then I think he was out that week. He came back 4.9. So it was just like up and down with that bad of a start. I mean, you're kind of destined to just kind of ride the bench, essentially. And, and then someone's going to have to pick up another tight end, try to figure out, who to play that week and play whack-a-mole. But it does seem like they're in a little bit of rhythm right now. And, going into the playoffs, as far as the actual playoffs, not fantasy playoffs. So I'm with you. I mean, I would have loved to have gotten him on a dynasty league. That would have been great.
Right.
Or Bowers even. But we're looking at it though. I mean, Kelsey still came at number 5. As bad of a year as he had. 6.4, 1.6, 7.7 even. Right? And then he had a couple of good ones, 15 and 16-point games. Then back to 5. Then 25, 22, 20. Then back to 2.8, 12, 13. Then 9, 6, and 8. Then 22 this last week. So it's like still kind of the same thing there. I mean, we talked about it, mid-season. Like, it's just the weirdest year for tight ends. Mm-hmm. They're not as consistent as they were.
How many touchdowns does Bowers have on the year?
He has, don't tell me it's only 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Yep. That's what I was just kind of going with your point of it's been a weird year. And it's like your number 1 overall tight end only had 4 touchdowns in the year. Like your typical number 1 tight end has like 7 and 8, not 4.
Yeah. I slipped on his name a little bit, but number 1 for most touchdowns, receiving touchdowns for a tight end, Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Not a ton of yardage, but definitely got the touchdowns in that. And a lot of that was really later in the season. He's been on a streak, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games straight with a touchdown. And then you go back even further. Since week 6, he's had a touchdown in every game except 2. and in one of those against Tampa Bay, he had 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, he was really like a late season lock for a lot of people. Kittle comes in number 2 as far as for total touchdowns with 8. Then Kraft, and then Jonnu Smith, which I loved having Jonnu Smith there towards the end.
Yeah, you were bitching at Jonnu, then you got Jonnu, and you were happy with Jonnu, and then he had like one bad game, and you were pitching to Jonnu, bitching about Jonnu again. I think it was you.
Not really. I picked up Jonnu November 19th. What week was that? No,
I don't know. It might have been someone else that was griping about Jonnu because they had like Tyreek Hill or something, and Jonnu was getting all the catches.
Yeah, no, I've never had Tyreek. No, I think I got him like week 12. He had a 28.1 game, and I think I've had him since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 23, 21, 13, 19, 12, 11. I mean, it's kind of been diminishing here at the end, but yeah, no. So for tight ends, yeah, I mean, we're talking about the end of the year. Of course, we're going to do some of our awards, everything next week, but looking ahead to next year, I mean, your top 5: Bowers, McBride, Kittle, Smith, and Kelsey. I like Laporta as far as kind of fitting him in there.
Yeah.
Another question is, what about Cade Otton?
I don't know.
For Cade next year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Cade Otton's looking good, but then how healthy is Godwin going to be?
Yeah.
And then Bucky Irving with that emergence. So is Cade going to be like Mark Andrews where they get around the goal line? Because it's not like Mark Andrews and Lamar. That's why people target Mark Andrews, because Mark Andrews and Lamar got that situation kind of like a Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey. Brock Bauer is just the best player on the damn team, so that's why he's just too good. And then they target so much with Trey McBride, and Laporta's good with that offense. But Laporta, because that offense now has Jameson Williams and stuff and they spread the ball around so much, it's tough to notice. So I don't know what to do with Cade Otton. He's definitely a question mark for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to agree with you, man. Yeah. See, the champ knows.
Well, but I just won 2. I just won 2 leagues, dude. I literally just won 2 leagues. You didn't see me.
No, we're get to that. But yeah, he says he does want a belt, and of course, very fitting. And this belt will be very fitting for you, dude. Anything else on tight ends?
No. Just for everyone out there, please, for the love of God, don't draft a tight end till the 5th round, maybe 4th. Just don't. Yeah. Like we said, Brock Bowers is the number 1 tight end on the season, has 4 touchdowns. He's not worth the 3rd round pick next year. He's just not. There's way too much value you're passing up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how good Josh Allen is. I don't think he's worth the 2nd or 1st round pick.
Yeah.
I took Lamar in the 4th. That's understandable. And Lamar's has better statistics on the year than Josh Allen does. Baker Mayfield,
any player.
Baker and Jared, in the Joe Burrows and stuff of the year, like you're taking them in like the 7th to 10th round. Or Baker, heck, some leagues Baker went undrafted. Now, granted, Josh Allen is amazing this year, but he's just
guess when I got Baker.
Waivers or the last pick of the draft.
Pick 14.
Yeah.
That's right, baby. That's right. Pick 14, guys. Like, I mean, had a hunch. It worked out. But, I mean, look at these organizations. Look at the ones that...
And you overdrafted Kyler.
Much more healthy or healthier than
right.
Other locations. Because, yeah, I mean, whenever you get good talent into the right fit, it's just going to be that much easier to want to play them. But yeah. God, man. Right? Now I'm thinking like, quarterbacks. Right? So we're talking like, round 3.
Maybe.
I'm
okay with 3, just depending on the value. Like Lamar, I was seeing Lamar taking in, like, even with me, I didn't want to take a quarterback in the 4th round, but they're just how the value, and of course the value in my head. I mean, I'm not sitting there saying that my head is smarter than anyone else's. I mean, I didn't even make the playdowns in our league that Gift just won. Right, the playoffs. But I took a quarterback in the 9th round, and I took a terrible quarterback in the 9th round. But
we still got Goff off of waivers.
I took Jared Goff my last pick because I had Anthony Richardson. I had to get the safety net.
Oh yeah, Richardson. Yeah, that's right. You got him 13.
Yeah. So I still 4th. It just depends on who it is. And Lamar fell to the 4th, so I'm like, well, I got to take that value. And then Lamar's had his best statistical year of his life. So there's no better. I don't know of any other value that you're going to pass up when Lamar was doing that. So
right, yeah.
Pocket passers, 6th, 7th round, like Jalen Hurts. Okay, I can see the 4th round. Josh Allen, I can see the 4th round. 1st, 2nd, unless you're in a super flex league, I just don't see you passing up the value that is so diminished that you can make up for in the waiver wire on waivers. You can pick up a quarterback. I don't know. He's not going to beat Josh Allen numbers, but like we said, Jared Goff, last pick of the draft for me. Baker Mayfield, last pick of the draft for Tvshka. And they were right there. Obviously Josh Allen had more statistics, was better, I think, than Baker. But it wasn't by a whole lot. So that's where I'm just so I can't not go against my theory of a first 1 through 3. I'm not taking a tight end. I'm not taking a quarterback. I'm taking straight wide receiver, running back value. And if there's not good value in the 4th round, then I might take a quarterback depending on who it is. Like Joe Burrow, I'm not taking Joe Burrow in the 4th round. I'm just not.
You can talk about Joe Burrow. He's number 3
I know.
right now. Point totals, you got Jackson at 411, Allen at 385, and Burrow at 368. Burrow has another good weekend, and Josh, if he does, just kind of mediocre, like he did against New England last week, I mean, you could see a little bit of a flip on that. But yeah, when you're talking about rushing, I mean, you're looking at Jackson's 852 rushing yards versus Burrow's 202. Mm-hmm. But we talked about rookies on all the other ones. We got to talk about rookies in this.
Yep.
Because right behind Burrow, you have Jaden Daniels.
And I would take Jaden Daniels over Burrow because of the rushing.
Would you take Daniels over Allen?
No.
Okay.
No. To me, it's still... I mean, it just depends. Yep. But right now, it's still Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Daniels, Jalen Hurts. It's like those guys.
Yeah.
Bo Nix could be...
Nix, yeah.
Bo Nix could squeak in there because he's had decent rushing. He's not what Jaden Daniels, Lamar, Josh Allen, or Jalen Hurts just gets a lot of tush pushes. And he's fine. I mean, you just can't pass up on Jalen Hurts. But Bo Nix, I said his name way too much in a kind manner. I think I thought I was only going to come in this season thinking like, oh, Bo Nix, remember him? Yeah, that was cool. No, he's a fantasy darling this year.
I mean, we didn't believe in Nix at all. That's why we picked up Stidham, thinking Stidham would have won the starting job over Nix.
And then some great person decided to give us a gift that was Brian Robinson, Brian Robinson and Bo Nix for Chris Olave.
Yeah. Still a great trade there. So
he offered. We're like, yeah.
Well, I think 2 weeks after that, that's when Olave got injured. He was out for the rest of the season.
Yeah. So Bo Nix. Hold on, let me check the weather. 6th, 7th round.
Yeah, I can see that. So let me throw everybody else in the 6th, 7th round. Goff, Murray, Herbert, Mahomes.
Murray maybe because of the rushing, but he hasn't really I don't know what to do with Murray. Because people are expecting Murray to go off this year, and he sucked for where he was projected.
I mean, he's got the fucking tools, man.
He does.
Maybe it's just the height limitation. Him being 5'10", compared to everybody else who's 6'2" or more.
I don't know.
But, I mean, the guy can run.
Yeah.
The guy can run. And maybe he just doesn't run enough. I don't know what it is. Because, I mean, he ran for 550 yards, which, I mean, is good. Gets him at number 4 on the year behind Hurts. But, I mean, Josh Allen ran 530 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So Josh Allen's running just as much as Kyler Murray. And, still isn't necessarily considered the running quarterback, so to say. Then you got Richardson. But here's a couple of others we got to talk about. Caleb Williams.
I see like 4 or 5 episodes where I went on a rant about him.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see a situation that happens in the offseason that really gains much trust in him. I mean, even with coaching change. Because then with the coaching change, he's still learning a new playbook, still going to have to restart.
And that offensive line is god awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the issue.
Another ones having issues and may have a coaching change. Who knows? Even though it's under 1 year. Drake May up in New England.
He's shown promise. I just don't think Jared Mayo knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Or Gerard Mayo, how you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, Gerard, yeah. At least that's how I've heard it. But, I mean, that's an interesting one. Your favorite quarterback, it's not Tyreek, but it's Taysom Hill.
Yeah, he's not a tight end.
Where are you picking him up next year?
Not.
Why not? He scored 42.52 points.
Okay.
That's like the second highest score.
There's certain hard-headed things that I will do, and it is one of them is never having Taysom Hill on my team.
Yeah, right.
There's just certain things that, you know what? I don't care.
Hey. Okay. Well, you know what we care about? We care about Ryan Moss.
Yeah, man.
Looks like he won his championship, baby. Congrats, dog.
We love hearing those things, guys. We love hearing them. I'm not saying it's because of me and Tvshka. It's probably because of you all. But thank you for asking us for our input. I see where he says that he cut Green Bay, and I think that's what we told him last week because they were going against Minnesota to go ahead and as much as Green Bay is doing well, I would have got rid of them. So good pickup there. Benching Achane for Bucky. Good thing there. And Ryan, let me ask you this. Did you have Achane in your starting lineup? And then once they said that Tua was going to be out, then you switched? Or did you always have Bucky? Because Achane is allergic to football when Tua's not playing.
Yep. Yeah, we got to figure out this link situation that's going on.
Yeah, we got to figure out that.
Because I guess there's a time limit or something on that.
Something like that.
Yeah, let me get a new link and put that in the description for everybody while we're thinking it. But yeah, Ryan, dude, that's awesome.
Switched out late.
Josh,
okay.
I wanted to come back to this. Talk about championships. My guy, two-time champ. Let's go, bud.
2 chips this year, boys. 2 chips.
Let's go. 2 chips.
2 chips, third place, and then one that I helped draft just won his. He just texted me. So
hell yeah.
So like, I don't know. I profited. I profited. Okay, so that's that. I'll take that. It's a successful year, but yeah, I won. I won a best ball league. I won a 10-team league, and my other buddy that literally he was on his honeymoon. He was like, "Hey, can you draft this for me?" I said yes, just like his wife did, and that's a weird wedding joke. And then he just texted me saying that he pulled off the victory. So, I mean, he ran the rest of his team, but I drafted it. So I'll take some things there. And then in the big league that I've been a part of since the dawn of time, we finished off, had the best record in our conference. And then, stuff happens in the playoffs. Sometimes you just run into a buzzsaw. And we did, because that team ended up winning the whole daggone thing. But ended up still working out, and we got third place overall. So still solid year, and lets me realize that I know what the hell I'm talking about every once in a while. Just we're gonna figure out dynasty. That's our next step in the fantasy football. Is figuring out how the dynasty works.
Dude. Yeah.
But yes, no, I won 2 championships this year, so got that going for me. And just so y'all know, I'll talk about having it. I'm only in 4 leagues that have championships, so there you go.
All right, and this thing is being so weird. With the link, it's not letting me like copy and paste one.
Okay.
So, Ryan, let us know if you're on Discord, and if so, what your user handle is. And,
if anything, drop your Twitter. If you have a Twitter or X, just drop it in the chat, and then we'll send you the link in your DM.
Or any social media.
Or any social media, whichever is easier. We'll drop that. We'll DM you there to get you in the league next year. Yeah, because it's a 10-team league.
If you're not Republican, you're not using Twitter.
Right.
That's pretty much what that thing is turning into.
Right. But
like,
that's
everybody's like splitting, like being divisive about politics, and well, we're gonna go to this social media. So it's like, oh great, now everybody's gonna have this own echo chamber. That's
I know. Yeah, but
that's safe.
That ends the political talk. We're not political fantasy football chat. Switched out late about the H-Hand thing. Okay.
Yeah, H-Hand was terrible during the time without Tua. Yep, exactly, man.
He's allergic.
Yeah, looking at the stats, looking at the trends, and doing exactly what the choice is, man. Doing it right.
Yep, doing it right there.
Yeah, I took Daniels in a full PPR, 4-point TD league. There you go. Yeah, definitely keep Daniels, man. He's incredible. I did not think that they would have that quick of a turnaround there in Washington. It's almost like what Houston was last year.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, just they do a complete swap. They get a new rookie quarterback, and just a few specific pieces in acquisitions or trades, and boom, complete different culture.
Yep,
and a winning culture at that. So I'm excited to see what they do in the playoffs.
The thing is because the thing is last year Houston kind of that division's so bad, so they kind of just got in because the rest of the division was terrible. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were good, but Washington's doing this year, I think, is next level. And Dan Quinn went to the Super Bowl, so it's not like he's a bad coach and doesn't know how to run a team. I mean, Dallas, as a Dallas fan, I miss him as our defense coordinator because our defenses were great when he was our defense coordinator. And now we suck again. Thanks, Jerry. But if anybody, I know Tvshka, you had my rosters of the 2 championships. If anybody wants to be curious about those,
sorry, I'm still messing with this link. I was hoping that if I sent it in a private message, then it would actually be an actual link,
right?
Something that could be copied and pasted. There we go. Got it. Let's see if it works in there. And well, while I'm doing that, I'll go ahead and post this for you. So this is your frat league.
Yep.
These incredible graphics.
I know.
I spent so much time on this, so y'all appreciate it.
Yeah, there you go, guys. It's a 10-team league, 1 point PPR. For that, I sweated. I picked up Bucky during the season. I stuck with James Conner. Okay. And he, unfortunately, sometimes you gotta get lucky. And he had Alvin Kamara all year until like recently. So it would have been a lot tighter of a championship if it didn't happen that way. But I will take it. On that. So, I can't sit there and say that, every day I just wake up and piss excellence, but I'll take this championship when I can. But yeah, sometimes you just got to stick on the waivers a lot of times I've had so many people saying like, who do you think about waivers? Like, well, I want this guy, but I'm not going to get him. And I'm kind of like Wayne Gretzky and Michael Scott. I'm like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So like, I know a way you're not going to get him is if you don't put, like, there's so many people who sit there like, well, we're not going to get him. I don't care. Take a shot at him. If you don't get him, guess what? At least you tried. In those. Yeah. And we're still, and then for Fab, I can tell you, I'm still trying to figure out dollar amounts for Fab. That's something that I'm still kind of new with. I'm kind of getting used to it, but some people go, this is my whole franchise, and I'm just not. I'm a little conservative when it comes to spending Fab dollars because you only have so many. All right, cool. Link worked. Perfect.
Awesome. Good to hear.
All right. Well, welcome, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining. Just be used to. It's not the same as Chris Taylor. His name is GIF.
Yeah.
Just be prepared because he's going to find some gifts that you didn't think existed, and just go with it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's called the Dick Scored for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's because GIF. We don't have an HR. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
We don't
have
an
HR
department.
We don't have an HR department.
We don't have the money, and we could not afford all the lawsuits. But no, man, it's a great time, man. Join in. The group just had a hangout Sunday night, which was last night, and so yeah, they had a good time, and we'll be doing it a little bit more often, especially once we get past the holidays, because it is New Year's, bud.
Yeah.
Right. So you got any New Year's resolutions besides not joining another fantasy league?
Jeez, I'm trying to get out of them.
Yeah. Right.
I just because I'm sorry, guys. After if more than 4, it just doesn't become fun anymore. It's because it's like, who do you have? Everybody.
Yeah.
It's
becoming taxes at that point.
Yeah. It becomes a job, and once it becomes a job, then if I'm not getting compensated for said thing that I have to put a lot more effort in than I thought, then. Just got the first gift. Yeah.
Oh, no.
You're gonna be nailed. You're about to be nailed with it. Get ready for the hot dog gift. Here comes.
Yeah. Yeah, he might be talking about the Keen Pill with the
maybe
Dolphins hat.
I don't know. But no. The good news about the best ball is you can just draft and let the computer take over. So I like periodically would check into it. Like I wish I was like smart, but no, I just drafted well. So you can win your draft. You can win your league at your draft, and it's called a best ball league.
Oh, good Lord. I don't know if it's not really a GIF, it's more of a picture, but it's a Chewbacca to Red Rocket.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Good Lord, GIF. You're hilarious, man. But hilarious or not, I think we got to wrap it up, bud.
Yep.
We are at an hour and a half. We appreciate you all joining, whether you join us live or you're joining after the fact. Let us know in the chats if you won your championship, and if so, what were the circumstances? That really caused it. Everybody, congratulations, man.
Congratulations to you.
Yeah, I mean, it was really the last 3 weeks were very eventful. There wasn't really a ton of major injuries that really wrecked a lot of people's seasons. I think it is actually very much the opposite, where the injuries that did happen, it actually probably helped them out because then they didn't pick up some middling players. But a lot of points. I mean, even looking at ours, which accidentally closed somehow. Because GIF came through in the end, but at a time, he only had like 90 points. It was like 90 to 88 or something of that nature. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, is this the championship we're going to have? Is this sub 100 game? Luckily, it did not turn out that way. But at that point in time, it was 96.14 to 85.68. And they each had, just one player left.
Yeah.
But looking at it, I mean, you had Haygood who had 166 not playing.
Right.
Smoke, who had 155.42. Actually, they were playing each other. Sorry. They were still figuring out the third and fourth situation. 152. You had 163.54, even though you didn't play. I had 142. So, I mean, still some good scoring games, or just good scoring weeks. And that's what we needed in the beginning. So, NFL, figure your shit out. Make it right. And then also maybe next year, stop having all these prolific teams play 3 games within 11 days. Can we not do that? Even though they won them all, but it's just like I feel like that was the biggest separator for the Steelers and the Texans in that Christmas matchup. Was just they didn't have maybe as much depth, or just didn't have enough preparation to go against the juggernauts of the Chiefs and the Ravens. But that's grueling. And at the same time, it really fucks with my picks because I like schedules. I don't like Wednesday games that are the start of the new week. That throws me completely off. But hopefully it didn't throw you off, and hopefully you won your championship. Josh, what do you got for the fine people?
We got the 2025 year of the Ruckus channel. That's what we got. And I mean, we're growing in popularity. Shout out Ryan.
Thrive.
Also, got a shout out GIF again. Last year he was just like, dude, he was the one that scored a gajillion points and didn't even make the playoffs. And we were like, okay. So coming this year, I'm like, all right, GIF, this is. We even said, we're like, GIF, this is your year. This is your year. It freaking happened. So as a wrestling fan, you'll understand this. You deserve it. That's it. That's all you get. All right, because bitch, you beat me. So you get a little bit of that.
Holy shit! Oh, that's it.
Yeah. This is someone else. No. Anyway, so and also too, obviously we're wrapping things up this year. So coming in next week, we'll be doing kind of our superlatives of crazy ass awards that we're going to give. We're going to give FU awards. We're going to give Coach of the Year. Where did he come from? Like, I don't know. I'm just throwing things out of the top of my head. We actually haven't talked about it. I'm just throwing random things out. So we're going to give random awards out for next week's episode for that. So that's why we didn't go over Player of the Years or anything like that. Spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about Brock Bowers again, so get used to it.
What? You're going to meet the quota again? That's weird.
Yeah, I'm going to make the quota. As much as Trey McBride has won me a championship this year, I'm still going to talk about Brock Bowers. But also, we're still going to be doing Game Dudes every Tuesday, Wednesdays, just depending on how things shake out there. We will be starting next week. We'll bring back Ruckus Wrap It Up, which is going to be really tight. We're getting into those into the playoffs of the college football playoffs, and we've got some bracket bitches over that as well coming there. And then you will have me and Justin on maybe the second. I don't know. We haven't talked about it, but we'll be back with Ruckus Wrestling because really and truly the biggest episodes and stuff start a week from now. But me and Justin, we don't like to take too many weeks off. And there was really nothing that happened last week. So we'll be back this week to bring you Ruckus Wrestling on Thursdays, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. And we hope to see you all. Brian, if you're into wrestling, join us over there and just shoot the breeze with us over there as well.
Yeah, and you guys had some announcements wrestling-wise, too. Saw some graphics being let go that looked pretty good for Royal Rumble.
Yeah. We're going to be doing a watch-along for Royal Rumble. So, join us over there when that happens in February.
Maybe in February. But, I'm looking forward to Bracket Bitches, Wrap It Up. You'll see me on those. You all have an amazing wrap-up of 2024. Hopefully you reflect back on the year, not just on the fantasy year, but the year in your life. And, just take account of the blessings and be thankful for what you do have. And then be ready, because 25, baby, that's the year to thrive. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it, man. With or without you, but hopefully it's with you. We like you guys.
Without you, with or without you.
This ain't no YouTube, baby. This is the Ruckus. We out of here. Y'all take care of yourself. Get fucking drunk tomorrow. Let's go. I was going to try to force a burp, but I couldn't.
You had 78 last episode.
I did.
Couldn't give us one.
I did. I had 34. Good, man. Hey, we'll see y'all. Peace.